Well, it's here. The Spurs 2014-2015 season is right upon us, and we got a ring night coming up. We got the banner raising. But before we get to all of that, it's time to look ahead at the San Antonio Spurs season. To talk about that and a whole lot more, I'm joined by Project Spurs Stephen Anderson and Paul Garcia. And guys, ring night, who's going to get their plastic ring? I guess everybody's going to be looking forward to that, huh? But everybody's going to get a replica ring. But we're here to talk about what is going to be happening on the court for 82 games plus. Let's start off with the X Factor. We got no Patty Mills for a while. Thiago Splitter's a little bummed out right now. He's have his injuries too. Kawhi Leonard has pink eye for best, So who's got to step up?
Well, I know, Paul, you're going to say Marco Bellinelli because, he's more experienced. He's going to get the start in the absence of Kawhi. But I like Kyle Anderson because the guy's a rookie. He's young. He has, even though not very much NBA experience, but the stuff that he's gotten done in the preseason shows what a player he can be when the regular season starts. He defensively can use a little bit more work, but when he gets in the passing lanes, his shot has really improved from the beginning. It seems like Chip England has really, kind of got his shot going.
Even though Pop is notorious for not playing rookie as much as as many would like him to.
Well, this time he might have to. I mean, he really doesn't have that many people he can go to. I mean, you can't replace Kawhi Leonard. Nobody can. But Marco is going to really have to step up and fill some big shoes. And even though Pop notoriously doesn't go and play rookies very often, this time he might have to.
Yeah, well, he's talking about you're going to be.
Yeah, I was going to bring
up
Marco just because he's been the default starter for now at the 3, just in place of Kawhi. But also because Marco, it's his second year. He didn't really get a lot of minutes in the playoffs. He kind of fell out of the rotation. Pop went to a small rotation with just Patty Mills and Manu coming off the bench as far as guards go. But I think this is his year. Manu's going to. I don't see him having a consistent season, so I think he's got to be there as well for the shooting guard spot. If Corey Joseph's not stepping up on the offense when he comes in, then Marco's maybe got to bring some more scoring as well. When Patty Mills, since Patty Mills is out as well. So I just really think it's Marco. And as for Kyle, I think he does have a big learning curve to go. I think also we might see him with the Austin Spurs a few times as well. When it's Kawhi Leonard, Pop will throw out some rookies, but however, when it's just Kyle Anderson, a guy 30th pick, I'm not sure if Pop's going to throw, but he may use him. But right now, as far as the X Factor goes, I think Marco really has the biggest role to step up this year.
Yeah, I'm looking at Manu Ginobili this year as being the huge X Factor for the Spurs. The guy has been there, done it, but he's been there, done it too many times to the point now that he is admitting that he is not the same player physically. He's coming off the foot injury. He's coming out of summer where he did not play with Team Argentina, thank goodness, but he then turns around and then says, but I'm still not the same guy. I'm physically a step behind. I have a small Achilles problem. He just looks like he is on his last legs right now. And the reason why he's an X Factor, because the Spurs go as far as he goes as well as with the big 3. Why? We lost a huge offensive punch with Patty Mills for a while. So who's going to be that offensive player coming off the bench? You can't rely on that with Corey.
Right.
Okay. Anderson, well, he's going to give you what he can give you. So I'm looking, and Bellinelli, no, he's a little too streaky. So there's sometimes where
it's a new season, so he can see what he can do.
And so I'm looking right at Manu Ginobili. He has to be that offensive punch heading into this early season.
The best thing for Manu right now is that basketball-wise, he said he's not 100% there, but physically he is actually getting there. Pop even says he looks as far as being in shape, as far as being totally healthy. He's actually getting there. I think it's just going to take time for him to work in, but we're not going to see the same Manu who averages 15 a game in the regular season.
I think we're not going to see that.
I think we're going to see 1-2 games out of every 5 games. Maybe you'll see a really good Manu, and so the other ones will be very average. And so I think that's why I think Marco would be the guy who has to really step up and support that.
Well, they brought the whole gang back. Everybody's back, plus Kyle Anderson, plus one rookie. So, what now? I mean, the chemistry's there, obviously. They know each other's sweet spots. They know each other as far as on the court, where to pass. So the question is now, what is the big difference? What is the big change we're going to see heading into the new season?
I think right now it's still going to be a lot of almost seeing not really a beginning team, but seeing a team that's kind of got to get itself back together. I mean, in the preseason they were notorious for having a lot of turnovers, and that's because all these different lineups. You got Jeff Ayers, you got Aaron Baines playing big minutes, you got Corey Joseph, and without Patty, with Manu being almost like a roller coaster, without Kawhi Leonard, without Thiago Splitter, you're missing 2 of your starters. That's going to be a big hurdle for them. Is for guys that weren't getting a lot of minutes last year to have at least early in the season, they're going to have to get back on form, and then even when you get all the guys back healthy,
should we expect them to just come out of the gates exploding like they have in the past seasons?
No.
In the past seasons, what has been the history of the Spurs? They've always come out of the gate slow, All-Star break, post-rodeo road trip, they take off.
Right.
It's been kind of opposite the last few years. They come out of the gates huge with like 4 losses early.
Yeah.
Well, I remember last year heading into January, the debate was, can they beat good teams? Remember, they were struggling there. I just think, they're going to beat, the below 500 teams, but, against teams that are playoff capable, I think they're going to have their struggles just because they're going to be missing so many bodies. And even when they get all these guys back in February, March, they still have to gel and have some time. I know it's the same exact team, but they're still, and then, you got some of the new coaches out there that are implementing. Coach Messina's going to bring some things to the offense.
Yeah, speaking of Messina.
That's also a learning curve for them.
Speaking of Messina, if any adjustments were made in the offseason was with the coaching staff. Messina, Becky Hammon.